Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. I am thrilled to have another guest co host with us today and the amazing panelists that she has brought. Can't wait to get to know these ladies more, learn all about them, and see how they are contributing to the world of collaboration. But first, let me welcome my co host. My co host today is Chu Tang. And Chu is a health and wellness entrepreneur. Welcome to the show, Chu.
Thank you. Thank you, Regina. Thank you for this.
Awesome. Chu, let's start this off with you telling us a bit about who you are. What has been your journey getting to this place in life? And who do you serve and why is that important to you?
Okay, so hi, hello, I'm Chu, originally from Cambodia. And then when I moved to New Zealand 24 years ago, that started my whole health journey. And I lost my grandma within half year when I moved to New Zealand to breast cancer. And that
Mhm.
was a huge wake up call for me to really get to learn what is another natural and more non-invasive way to help our health. Yeah. So for the past 24 years, I was a graphics engineer, but then I was learning health related, like craniosacral and homeopathy and all that. So finally, fast forward, December 7, 2022, I lost my full-time job. And it was kind of like I was wishing that I would lose it. And then it happened because I found a very amazing product that I'm so passionate about. And so who I serve is people actually like me who are overwhelmed, super busy, and people who give a lot to the world and then sometimes don't have enough time to take care of themselves. Yeah. So I always like something that's simple and fast. Yeah. So and then my why always, yeah, I want everybody to be healthy.
So for the most part, that's most of us women, right?
Mhm. Yes, yes,
I
correct.
think that described a lot of women.
Yes.
Yep,
It also
yep,
made me think of the statement, "Be careful what you wish for," right? And when you're
yeah,
losing your job.
yep,
So,
correct, yep.
uh, welcome to the show, Chu. I'm so
Thank
glad to
you.
have you here as our co-host today. Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting these lovely ladies. Would you please introduce each of them? Have them tell a bit about their journey, who they serve, and why.
Well, first of all, I'm so grateful that they are my chosen family
I love
and
that.
beautiful, beautiful, five beautiful women, beautiful soul. And I'm so grateful that you guys are in one space. So I feel so special. So on my the first one on my screen is my friend Ali from Canada. Yeah. Would you introduce yourself and share with us your journey and then who you serve and why?
Certainly. Thank you so much for having me here. This is lovely. I love collaborating with people. Um, so I'm in northwestern Canada, and I opened my clinic in 2009. And I got to that space by being really angry for most of my life, and that
Mm.
impacted every aspect of my life. And I was really miserable, and I made other people miserable also, which wasn't good. Um, so now what I do, after some years of finding myself and figuring out who I was and who I wanted to be and who I didn't want to be, what I aim for now is to empower stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed women to be able to ditch that anxiety and overwhelm so that they can live fulfilling, motivated, peaceful lives with passion, power, and confidence. I want to give women that ability to know that they have the power within themselves to develop a deeper resiliency, to connect with their own self in order to be able to connect with others. Because we can't be effective in life, in relationships, in business, as business owners, as employees, if we're trapped in that anxiety and depression and overwhelm and trauma and pain. So that's what I do. I also work with animals.
Mm.
And yeah, I love what I do. And I'm thrilled and honored and so grateful that I get to do that.
Thank you so much.
That's
Next,
awesome.
next is my friend Robin. Robin, would you tell us your journey and who you serve and why?
I'd love to. My journey into wellness is like a run through the back door. I actually worked in medical research for 25 years, looking and we were looking at inflammation, the inflammatory pathways, and how to damp down flares that people with autoimmune systems, have. I also have a son who has autoimmune disease, and he became very, very ill, and so much that I needed to homeschool him. So I left my career and I started a wellness business. Working with my son, but also you have to take care of ourselves too.
Mhm.
I started a wellness business with a particular company. The community in this company, which was a nutritional company, really opened my eyes from allopathic medicine that I had been training in and working with for so many years to a much more holistic approach. I used that approach to help my son. And I also met along the way some wonderful practitioners, some that were in the company I was with, and then come back and find more here. I wanted to give back to my community, so I started Living Well Connections in order to lift the practitioners up to raise awareness of the different modalities they did, different things they could do to help people. And that led from to lunch and learns, and then COVID, it went online. And today I have sort of had to adjust, you pivot every time there's a pivot point. Today I've pivoted into, I have a free Facebook group for both practitioners to get to know each other and support each other, but also for anyone interested in these topics. And I started a podcast this year called Over 40 and Fabulous. And I love interviewing practitioners on that.
Thank you so much, Robin. If you guys haven't joined Robin's Facebook group, check it out. It's called Living Connections. Yeah.
Living Well Connections.
Living Well Connection. Yeah, I love it. So next is my friend Dr. M. Would you share your journey and tell us who you serve and why?
Thank you, Chu, and thank you, lovely ladies, for having me. My name is Ngoma. Don't bite your tongue. Dr. M is fine. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I migrated here 20 years ago to go to college at Howard University, and got married and moved to Texas and had two beautiful kids. And along the way, my son was diagnosed with autism, my firstborn. And that changed everything. My aspirations, everything changed because he became number one. And that was when my husband and I decided that I would stay home and take care of him because we didn't understand what autism was. We were young parents. And he's 15 now, but I went back to school to get my PhD because I wanted to understand policies and how it impacted Black communities. I looked at racial disparities. I looked at how resources are located to Black children. Not enough. I wanted to understand how to advocate for my son. So I got the education, and I realized that academia is lovely, it's wonderful, but it wasn't for me for the sense that I needed the flexibility to continue to help my son and serve that community. And only last year did I decide that I was just going to start working as a public speaker. Of course, I'm a researcher, don't get me wrong. I can never stop researching. That's my passion. But I am more open now to being a public speaker to help my community. I serve a lot of communities. I serve the African community, I serve the Black community. Most importantly, I serve the autism community. And that's where I've been putting all my effort in for the last 15 years. And I joined Grand Connection last year and I met Chu. And I met a lot of beautiful women who have given me platforms to share the story. And it gave me the confidence that I needed. And every day I get better and I get more out of what I'm doing and helping people with my story. And I think that's really important because the pain never goes away, the struggle never stops, and some families are helpless, right? And I want to give the gift of hope. And like Chu always says, don't forget to smell the roses. And that is what I want to contribute to my community and women in general. I'm over 40 and I'm fabulous. And I want women to understand that age ain't nothing but a number, okay? And we need to take care of ourselves, okay? We need to take care of ourselves inward and outward. And I try to do that every day. And I aspire to teach women how to take aging as a sign of blessing and maturity and not as a punishment, you know, and just embrace themselves and chase their dreams and realize that at the end of the day, you know, that's your superpower. And that's the message I'm trying to share as I meet all these wonderful women across the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. M.
You're welcome.
Well, next is Alison from Gold Coast, Australia. Alison, would you share your journey and tell us who you serve and why?
Good morning from the other end of the earth, down in Australia. So yeah, it's such an honour to be here. Thank you so much, Chu, for the opportunity. I love chatting to you as we do. So very quickly, my journey has been a little bit of a zigzag road. And I graduated as a naturopath back in 2006 with 4 children. My journey began with my eldest son having some health issues very young. And in all honesty, I had a little country clinic that I had in a little rural town in Queensland. And I had that clinic for about 3 years. And then life took a bit of a turn. And strangely enough, ended up on the other side of the path and ended up as a pizza franchisee in that rural community. And everyone goes, how does that happen? Like well, that's just what you do. It's all about finances and a young family and opportunities that come along. And I thought it would be a really fast, easy journey just to more financial stability, because as we all know, running a business also is not easy with a young family to raise. And as an entrepreneur, it's not just cash in, cash flow. So there's a lot goes back into it. So that was the journey we took. And I found myself probably about 10 years later, standing there at that business. I had 2 stores by that time. We'd moved to the Gold Coast and I was perimenopausal. And can somebody mute whoever's on that one? Sorry, that noise is very distracting.
Is anyone?
Someone, yeah, bit of feedback coming back. Sorry, thank you. So I found myself really at that point of we were under a lot of financial stress. I was under a lot of emotional stress. My life really wasn't quite going the way I thought I had planned, and I had my own mental breakdown really through that period. And I was standing there going, who am I? How did I get here? And what's my journey forward? And I had a little bit of a twist to that because I'm also an adoptee and I just found my birth father as well. And that's a huge roller coaster journey as well. So throw all of that in together. I just lost my last adoptive family member, my brother as well. And so I was really hitting that rock bottom of just really questioning where to from here. And I knew a lot of tools, like being a naturopath, and I'm an applied kinesiologist. You do touch for health, you do lots of the healing, but why didn't I use any of it on me? So it also made me question as to how do we make the changes? And it's a struggle that we see a lot of our clients do as well. You can tell them what to do, but nobody wants to change the habits. So that started my journey, and I found Creatrix, which is this amazing technique which has been designed for the female brain. It ties in epigenetics, it ties in, going back into that path and changing those beliefs. So for me, it was really self-worth that I needed to find to be able to step into self-care and to change my world. And I can happily say really quickly because I do love to chat. Within the last 4 years, I'm out of those pizza businesses. I am back on path as a naturopath again. I am working with integrative medical practitioners. Have just launched my first 6-month program for adoptees for a transformation, which really is, to me, it's heal the heart first so that we can then heal the body. Thank you. It's very exciting. I'm passionate about the genetic. I'm doing training with functional genomics at the moment because that's something else a lot of adoptees don't understand. They don't have access to. So I'm a homeopath as well. And everyone says, just stick to one thing. I go, I can't. There's just too much I love in the world. I'm really passionate about inflammation at the moment with my Zenzino line that I work with, the polyphenols and omegas as well, to just work with something that's rather easy, effective, affordable, because that was another challenge being a naturopath as well. So many people can't afford a lot of these big changes in the world. So I'm working, and also I love hearing that, Dr. M. I'm working to be a public speaker as well. So I'm part of Speakers Institute here in Australia, and I hear we're launching into America the end of this year as well. So that's something I'm stepping forward because I really I'm passionate. I want to share my journey and my story, and to be an advocate to speak to adoptees, because I know we are a little bit of the forgotten in the whole conversation. And that's something that I'm really working towards. So that's, I guess, a little snippet of where I've come and how I've met you along the way. And thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Alison. Okay, so last but not least, my friend Linda from Oregon.
Thank you, Chu. And again, thank you for inviting me to this. It's a great joy to be here. My journey, gosh, I grew up feeling incredibly insecure with no self-confidence or self-esteem at all. I had always sensed that I was quite different from the people around me, particularly my family, people I went to school with. And so the way I coped with that was I kind of learned to shut myself down. Really, all I wanted was just to fit in and kind of be like everybody else. I started learning about natural health techniques. I studied, took a master's degree in holistic nutrition. I became aware of feng shui, started studying that. It was really what I know now. It was really about understanding energy. So the energy of your body, the energy of your environment. And I didn't really know it at the time, but since then I've learned about what it means to be highly sensitive, highly empathic. And that really explained to me why I had always felt so different and why I saw and felt things that other people didn't. And I was always made to feel wrong for that. Mm-hmm. And so I had really exhausted myself, I think, trying to fit in, trying to be like other people wanted me to be. And when I found these tools, when I started to learn about energy, I studied Reiki, I became a Reiki master, and I was just learning more and more about energy. And I started to really understand how we create our situations and our experiences based on our energy. And the beautiful thing is that when you change your energy, the situations and experiences you're having change. And so I've kind of made it my mission to help other people like me, the more sensitive, heart-centered, empathic people who are exhausted from giving their power away, trying to fit in, and finding that no matter what they do, nothing works. That's why I say I'm a breakthrough energy expert, is because I help people have breakthroughs. It doesn't matter what the situation is. We look at it from the perspective of energy. And when they've tried everything else, usually the conclusion they arrive at is the same that I did, is, well, there must be something wrong with me because other people do this and it works for them, but why won't it work for me? So those are the people I help. That's how I've come to what I do. I absolutely love it because there's nothing, to me, there's no better feeling than when someone is on the point of giving up. They feel like there's no hope and just nothing will work for them. And then as they start changing their energy, things start opening up for them. And just the joy of that, when they start to realize, I actually have control over this. I can work with my energy, the energy around me. And once I understand that, everything is different. And really, I suppose my why is I think we need more positive energy in the world. And I think, we as highly sensitive, highly empathic people have a lot of positive energy to give. We have a lot to bring. And if we're squandering our energy, if we're wasting it by trying to be what other people want us to be, then we're not being who we were born to be. We have the ability to add so much value, so much more positive energy to the world. And that's why I do what I do.
Wow. Thank you, Linda.
Beautiful. Ladies, I feel honored to be able to meet all of you and to spend this hour with you. What great work you're all doing in the world. Couple of thoughts that occurred to me as you were all giving your backgrounds and what you do. And I'm not quite sure which way I want to go. So I think I want to dive in from what Linda just said about how much energy that you have to share with the world. And I want you to think about that as a group, not individually, but all of you together. Imagine for a moment what a summit would look like with all of you speakers at that summit, sharing what you know, sharing the energy that you have, and changing the lives of every woman in that room. Can you see it? I can see it so clearly. It would be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Have you considered anything like that? No. Okay. So are you open to exploration?
Definitely.
Definitely. All right. So let's explore what that could look like. How you would begin that process of collaborating to create that event. I just think that you have so much to offer, each of you individually, that together it would just be phenomenal. So for the sake of everybody listening and to put you on that path, let's just brainstorm what it would take to do that. So what are your first thoughts when you think about having some kind of an event together? Anybody, just feel free to share. What are your first thoughts about doing that? Chu?
Definitely visual.
Okay.
Definitely visual. So I would collect, a group of photographs, images that really, these pictures worth 1,000 words. So,
right.
And also I'm a very visual person.
Okay. So gathering those as part of the marketing, or what are you thinking there with the visual?
The content.
Yeah. Visual content. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. What about activities within there where, let's see, Allison, you said you do Touch for Health. Is that right? Yes. So I have a little bit of experience with Touch for Health. Are any of you familiar with brain gym or educational kinesiology? Yeah. So I've been a practitioner of that since the 80s. And as part of that training, learned about Touch for Health and periodically pull out my nice big green book on Touch for Health and utilize that. But I'm thinking, you could do some actual, even though you'd be visual, even though you'd be remote, you don't have to be in the same space. And even though you'd be on Zoom or some other platform, you could certainly take people through a process. Yeah. You could have volunteers who might go through a process. I did a summit a couple of years ago, and we had a person who did tapping. And she did our moderator for the event, she did a tapping session with him live on the show. And he had a son who was in a very bad place physically and actually died shortly after that. But that tapping session helped him so much. And that when that event occurred, he was in such a much better place to be able to handle it better than he would have before. So that opportunity to actually do work on the people in the audience, to have volunteers or to have people who you can actually work on, I think would be phenomenal.
That's my favorite part. Whenever
Right?
I do presentations or even some podcasts, I do workshops and teach a fair bit. I also do Touch for Health and heart math and quantum touch and write a variety of things. And I love getting the audience involved
Yes.
to
Yes.
actually embody,
Experience.
experience the
Experience.
shifts that they
Yes.
can. So that's where my mind goes also
Yeah.
in that sort of kind of summit setting.
Right. Right. So how would you go about, I mean, let's just start to plan this. What do you need to do? I guess first of all, you would need to decide what the outcomes are that you would want, right? What would be the outcomes for you and for your participants? Um, Dr. M, I'm curious, what are your thoughts right now?
Oh, I'm just listening. In my line of work, I don't touch people or teach people about anything. I'm a visual. I'm a visual person. I'm the entertainment, so they're looking at me. Okay, so
Right?
I
And
don't,
that's okay. All
and that's
things would be
okay.
needed.
That's so I am learning from all you wonderful ladies. So if that is your thing, I will work my way into it somehow. But this is your field, okay? And I respect that. So I am the student here. I want to learn how you would do this and
How you would do
find a
this.
way to. I might be a moderator. I may not participate, but I might
Okay.
moderate.
Okay.
And that's the stand of a speaker and an orator, right? But
Right?
it's interesting to learn how you would do this in a virtual space.
Yeah.
I can just say the summits that I've participated in before, we usually will do, it'll either be an interview with the organizer, which is recorded, or you can record your own presentation or meditation or whatever it is you want to do. And so the ones I've done before have been launched over a series of days, and then each day they will release a certain number of those pre-recorded things. So this person, there may be 3 people on this day and 3 people on the next day. And then people also have the opportunity to watch the recordings, but to sign up to be able to access all of them, for as long as they want to afterwards. So that's the format that I've participated in before.
That's the same one same kind of thing I participated in.
I think that's very powerful doing that.
Yeah.
That format.
Yeah. It is.
Because it's not too much. If our audience is women, busy women, having this flexibility of, okay, well, if they can, watch it when the day is done.
Right.
Or, and the fact that we're from all over the world, that day is done is going to be a different time for.
It's a different time zone. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So having them recorded, the one I did, it was like, I think it was free for a while, a period of time, maybe a week. I can't remember. Week.
Usually like till the end of the week, something like that.
Yeah, the end of the week. And then they said if somebody wants the whole package.
Right. And then they can have those to review again. And so you could easily, if you were doing it that way, you could easily do a session with somebody of what you typically do when you work with someone and record that session with their permission, of course, record that session. And that could be part of your presentation, your time in the summit.
Dr. M wants to be a speaker, so it could just be a talk that is somewhere around the topic.
I love that. Age is only a number, Dr. M. I love that.
Yeah.
I know it ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah. And I wrote down, I take really good notes while people are talking. I'm a fast typist, so I type notes. But you said, something to the effect of take aging as a sign of a blessing and maturity, chase your dreams, let it be your superpower, that kind of a thing. I think you could
Yes.
develop a great talk around that would be of interest to people in the room.
Yeah,
I think it'll be great, especially this war we're having with Generation X, which is my generation, and Generation Z.
Yeah.
So this will be, and this can also bring science into it, and what all you lovely ladies are doing, so we can work together or get someone in the Generation Z, element to come in and give their own spew on what they think.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting to learn.
Right. You could have someone who interviews different members, different members of this group or others that you wanted to incorporate into this. Some of the sessions could be an interview session. Some of them could just be a presentation. Some could be a presentation with demonstration. There's so many options for you. And you each have so many different channels that you can take because you're each very multi-talented from what I was listening to. Well, I'm excited about you doing a summit. I think it would be fabulous. There's
I think so
so
too.
much
I
here.
think everybody here is awesome. But then again, when we think about audience and attendance and the logistics of all of that, that's always the next level of headache. So
I think it comes down to, needs somebody to organize it, to pull it all together. Yep. And I've never done that, but I know it's a lot of work. The last one I was involved with, which was extremely successful, 2 people had partnered up, and they both did all the organization. They did anyone who wanted an interview, they did the interviews as well. And it was very well organized, but it's a lot of work, I have to say that.
One of the things I think would be beneficial along that note, Linda, is if all of you sat down together and kind of hashed out what are those elements you've seen and the ones you really enjoyed. What are the different things that were going on? Make a list of all of that, and then, okay, who can do what from that list, or do we need to bring in somebody outside of our group? How do we fulfill all of those roles, all those things that we saw in there? There's a level of marketing that has to occur, obviously. People need to market to their own groups, to their own, to their own lists of people, or market within groups that you're in on social media platforms. Then there's your, just general social media posting itself that you could do. Getting in front of other people, getting on podcasts and talking about your summit would be a great thing to do as well. And I can give you some resources of people that are looking for guests on their podcasts. So there's that kind of a thing, as much as you can get in front of others and talk about it once you, of course, have laid out what it looks like, because you don't want to do that prematurely. So what other questions and thoughts are coming to your mind about how you might do this?
Well, for me, I definitely want to check out the one that Linda mentioned that is super successful. Looking at the one that's very successful summit, that people have done. And
One thing you could do too is reach out to other people in your fields, or that that are maybe in this energy kind of work or health work, and give them an opportunity to have a gift in the summit. Have those, they have the gift giveaway kinds of things, because that brings their list. They're going to promote it to their list. So you get more people promoting it. So you have to think about what kind of joint ventures can we structure around it that would bring more audience. Who would be good to share this with? Dr. M?
What are they gaining from this? That's the most important question.
Well, yeah. The group, are you talking about the audience or people who participate by bringing audience?
Both. So
Okay.
we're asking people and we're also looking for an audience.
Yeah.
What are they gaining from
Yeah.
this summit?
And that's something that you folks are going to have to sit down together and figure out what is the benefit we provide to that audience. Now, in terms of people that are bringing their audience, typically you're giving them some kind of exposure, right? So that they get more people on their list of people that they can then market to, talk to, that kind of a thing. And that's why if you did the giveaway piece as part of it, they could put their gift in there. People who sign up for that gift now go onto their email list. And so they've grown their audience. That's what they're getting out of it. Yeah.
So I think for us is expanding our network.
Expanding your network.
And then collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would do an assessment for the people attending the summit. I will have them do an assessment form at the beginning and at the end. And that will be a good testimonial for future summit. You
could do some research ahead of time, asking people, what would you find most valuable in a summit like this? You know, what would interest you about it?
And what networks cater to this type of literature and discourse? Right. I know there are a lot of networks that focus on energy. I think what they call them, intuitives. And then I've met people in that group. So a lot of people have groups that they are in. It's finding the right network of people that fit into this energy network and getting them, together and things like that. Because it has to mean something to them.
Exactly. Yeah. What's, the marketing, the number one thing in marketing is that to remember that the reason people pay attention to you typically is because they have a problem they don't want. They're looking for a solution they don't have, and they're hoping that you have that solution. And so your marketing always has to focus around that. What is it? So because that's what stops them. Most of us just scroll through life today, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't stop scrolling unless we see a funny cat video or something like that, or we see something that says, oh, wait a minute, this person gets me. They understand this pain, this problem I have, and they may have a solution. And so our marketing, our title, our heading for any marketing has to address that pain point, and then our subheading addresses our solution. And that then brings them into our world to find out if we really have the solution for them. And the solution will take place in the summit, where you're going to give them the answers to that. But I would do some research. I would do some brainstorming as a group, and then do some research, again, reaching out to your own audiences. What would you find useful? Would you be interested in something like a 3-day or a 5-day challenge or summit or challenge or something like that? That might be an hour a day or an hour and a half, something like that. And, kind of all of you doing that, polling your audiences and then coming back together and saying, this is what we found. This is what would be most valuable across the board for our audiences.
I also was part of a summit a few years ago, and it ran for a week, and it was, I think, like 10 hours a day. Like it was a big summit, and they had options of having like an hour-long presentation or a 15-minute presentation. So I like that concept because not everyone has the time, and that's presenters and audience, to sit for an hour and a half.
Right.
Or, and it was, I only did like a 15-minute one. So it was very condensed, very on point, very focused.
Right.
But you can still get an awful lot of information and tools and tips and ideas across in a short period of time.
In May, I'm going to be doing like 2 10-minute sessions at an event where it's a Friday evening or Friday evening and Saturday. And I'm going to come in Saturday morning when they start. They'll have a little motivational something going on. And then I'm going to do 10 minutes of brain gym with them. And then after lunch, we're going to do another 10 minutes of brain gym to get them going after lunch. Not everything has to be an hour and a half. You're absolutely right, Allison.
And what I've seen in the past few years, I mean, it's changed. It's changed people. I mean, the last summit I was in sounds similar, like Allie was saying. And each talk was maybe 30 minutes, or, there was a little variety in there. But what I'm seeing is people are wanting shorter things. They're wanting shorter. They're not.
Very
And
small
when
attention span.
for a while, when I was online with my community and having basically online lunch and learns, the practitioner would speak for 45 minutes and everyone was fine with it. And then we also had time to network before and after, and everyone was fine with it. And then after about a year and a half, 2 years of that, it just started falling off. People weren't having the time to do that.
Yeah.
Attention span is dwindling.
Yeah.
Networking is another aspect you could consider as part of your summit as well. You could have some breakouts for that as well. Yeah. You've got a lot to work with here. The decision is, will you take the challenge to come together and at least see if this is viable for you and how you would make it happen? And I can't wait to hear how that goes. So, Chu, I hope you're going to keep me informed on that.
Most definitely. I didn't expect this today.
I didn't either. It's always different based on who's in the room. And it just felt like, oh, these ladies need to get together and do this.
I mean, I must say there's a market for what these wonderful ladies are doing. Now, anyone can speak, but you ladies are doing great stuff. I mean, there's a market for it, and I've been seeing it a lot. So
yeah,
there is definitely someone out there who needs to, learn about being an adoptee, surviving it, and medicine for sick kids, and just body energy and getting that good vibe, and just being healthy overall. There's a market for it. People are begging for it. So I know it'll definitely work out.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. M, I do want to
communication part, which is what you have, Dr. M.
Oh, yes. I am the communicator. Yes. I glue it all together. Yes.
You glue it all together. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I do want to disagree with you that anybody can be a speaker, because that's not really true. I've heard some terrible speakers.
What are you talking about?
I mean,
eloquent. All of you were eloquent in your speech right now. You gave a wonderful presentation and you spoke and you did it so well. That's it. You're a speaker. Anyone can be a speaker, okay? I don't believe nobody can. That's why I try to tell people, anyone can speak if you give them a chance. So all of you did wonderful today. I didn't hear any stubbles. I didn't hear any I heard beautiful ladies just say what they do and how they overcame their struggles and where they are and what they did with that struggle. And that's what people want to know. Okay, you fell. How did you get up?
Right.
What did you do after you got up?
Right.
And that's the message right there.
What's your story? Telling your story.
Bingo.
People
Exactly.
learn from stories.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
Well, the biggest challenge of all, Dr. M, is also having one of those energetic, incredible MCs that keep the group together. I think we have it.
I think she'd be great for that, don't you?
I already said I was going to be the MC. I already said my part.
Yeah, there you go.
The moderator. That's it.
I'm
moderator. I already said it. I already claimed my part.
You claimed
I'm
that
moderator.
Love it.
We need a keynote speaker for the summit.
Whoa.
I am volunteering myself to do it. Just don't give me any work. Okay, don't ask me to touch people. I'm not touching anyone. Okay, I just want to be the moderator. I don't want to do anything else.
The educator.
Yes,
No.
educator. Yes.
No, we have one to teach people how to be an amazing speaker.
Oh, okay. Then
there you go.
Exactly. Okay.
That's you.
I'll do it.
Developing your self-confidence and to speak is a challenge for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I don't don't know why. Here I am, this
Yeah.
African girl with an accent, and I'm fearless. I'm just fearless. Like, I don't care. You're going to
You're a
understand me.
survivor.
I know, right? I love the Australian accent so much. Like, every time I went Crocodile Dundee in Nigeria, I'll imitate it all the time. Like, watch me saying. Like, Crocodile Dundee was my favorite movie in Nigeria. I just loved it.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
I know, right? I'm global with this, okay? So I know how people are afraid to speak, and here I am, an African born, and I'm fearless with it. That's why I don't understand people say, "Oh, I'm afraid to speak." I'm like, you can't do that to yourself. You have to give yourself an opportunity. Now, I will tell you that there are audiences that I get into, and they're a bit intimidated by that, and that's okay, right? That's okay. Just go in there and prepare for the worst, and hopefully you overcome it, because that's the whole thing about finding your peace and your space. Like, you were talking about how you felt different when you were growing up. I felt very different because I was the loudest kid everywhere. I would be screaming and yelling and talking, and people would be like, "Who is this?" And I took that to my advantage and charmed my way through everything in life, right? So
Yeah,
I will always be the loudest kid everywhere, and I'll be notorious for that. So I already knew that I had stage presence. I don't care what they were saying. I saw it as stage presence, right?
Yeah.
So when you take that disadvantage and make it your advantage, you will see everything just come to light and being placed. So that's how I see life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Ladies, you are all amazing. Absolutely amazing. Chu, I can't thank you enough for bringing this group of ladies here today. It's been so much my pleasure to get to meet and learn from each of you. We are out of time, however. So I'm going to leave this project in your capable hands, and I can't wait to hear what you do with it. I really hope that you move forward with it, because I think you have a great opportunity to impact lives at a greater level by doing this. So I really look forward to hearing that it moved forward. But we're going to move into our wrap-up round now. And so, Chu, if you will run our wrap-up round, if you will please have each person share their final thoughts about collaboration and their contact information. And while you do that, I'll plug their contact information into the public comments, okay?
Okay. All right. So on my screen, Robin, would you share your final thoughts and your contact information with us?
I will. Actually, I've grown to love collaboration, and I'm in a number of groups that's an emphasis to collaborate, which is really why I started my podcast, is to be able to have, bring people in. Well, the combination of starting my podcast and having my community and encouraging people in the community, the practitioners in particular, to collaborate, because with that synergistic energy, it does come up much stronger. And honestly, I love introducing good people to good people. My contact information is, my website is robinthomas.biz, ROBINTHOMAS. And my, if you reach out there, you'll be able to send a message to me or get on my calendar. My calendar is meetrobin.me. And if you just if you're shy and want to check me out, go to YouTube, YouTube/Robin Thomas. And you're going to find my podcast there, and then other videos and videos of other practitioners.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Robin. Alison, would you share your closing thoughts and also how to contact you? Alison from the Gold Coast.
Alison from the Gold Coast. So it's quite an interesting journey. I will just quickly say, when I graduated back in the 2000s, to collaborate within the wellness industry was quite challenging. It was more competition back then than supporting each other. And I really feel this time coming back into it, the connections I have made with integrative doctors, other healthcare practitioners, where we're just so much supportive of each other. And it's about taking all of our different thoughts and strengths and being able to, it's all about who we're all trying to help, and everyone, there's just so many layers to that. So I'm actually loving it. That was something that really came from Creatrix, being around other women who I was the first time embraced by, to support each other in our challenges. So for us, and I actually have a session this afternoon, with a few of the overwhelming things I'm facing at the moment on this journey, and to be able to just put my hand up and just have that support with each other was a real whoa moment for me, to just have that community. And also that's why I love Speakers Institute, being part of their tribe as well. Proximity is power. So continuing to be in proximity of people who are on a growth journey as well, to support you through all your challenges and different ideas. I'm a people person, and my number one strength is connection. So I'm all about the collaboration for sure. And I've just started to create that in my community. I'm starting a meet-up groups for adoptees, just to be able to get together and have social. It's not a counselling session. It's not anything. It's just get together as a group of people that have that language that we can speak, and there's no judgment. There's no thinking you shouldn't think like that, or you can just be safe. And I think that's something is so important in collaboration, is to create our communities where we feel safe and we have a safe voice, and that space is really held. And all of my details, my website finally, after nearly 2 years, has been launched this week. And that is www.yashealing.com.au. And I guess you can tell Your Authentic Self, that was my journey, because that is my heart for adoptees to come back to actually really finding out who they are inside. And for anyone else struggling with self-esteem and self-confidence, of course. So that's my jam. And you can find me on Instagram. I have a couple of different pages. I have Mask of Adoption. I also have the Your Authentic Self pages on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I'm a bit of a wellness warrior, so I can be a little bit outspoken in the health freedom field as well. So you can sort of find me on that side of the fence. So yeah, that's thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Alison. So Ali from Canada.
Hi. Well, collaborating was not my strong suit for a very long period of time. I thought I had to do everything on my own, and I work better by myself, because then I don't have to compromise, and I don't have to do, I don't have to actually expand my mind, right? So it was a bit of a struggle for the first few years. However, now I've shifted into, I love collaborating. And I love hearing other people's ideas and their stories, and what I can learn from them, what my clients can learn from them. And it's amazing. I've met so many people around the world. I've learned so much. I hope that other people might have learned from me. It's just awesome. That being said, you can find me. I have a Facebook private page, but it's seeable. It's Alison's Shift from Stress to Joy. My website, one of them is alisonzeidler.com. I am on YouTube under either my name or Elemental Holistic Therapies. I have another website, Passage to Power, passage-to-power.com, and you'll be able to find me at any of those places. So thank you again for this opportunity today.
Thank you, Ali. Linda, please share with us your closing thought and how to contact you.
Yeah, I've always loved collaboration, and when I first started my business, I was kind of like Alison. I was trying to bring everybody together in the holistic community, and that didn't really work so well. I found there was a lot of I think what I realized was there was a lot of fear. I think people are afraid that, it's either my way is the only way, or you're going to steal my clients, or something like that. And I know that has changed. I have definitely felt a shift with that. I do love collaboration. There's nothing you know, I love working by myself, but there's so much. It's about energy. There's so much more energy that comes when you're working with others, when you can collaborate with others. And I think, you know, we can do much more together than we can on our own. I have the best place to find me is my website, which is lindabins.com. All of my social media things and everything you need to know is on there. I have a couple of Facebook groups, Highly Sensitive Professionals Facebook group you could join, but I also have my a community, my own community through my website where I share various information each month, and I have a monthly collaboration call actually with the members of my groups. So yeah, reach out. I'd love to connect with anybody.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Dr. M.
Hello, ladies. So I think collaborating with anyone is wonderful. In the last 6 months, I've done a podcast with Chu. I did 2 with Dina Lean. I'm doing 1 next month with Melissa. And these are all beautiful ladies I've met in the last 6 months through networking through LinkedIn, believe me. And actually, I met Melissa. Melissa invited me to be on the board of her nonprofit in Ghana. So I'm not Ghana, Uganda. And I mentor our young, beautiful girls in Uganda. I help them, you know, discover their superpower and help them with public speaking and stuff. And this is all through collaborations, right? Just meeting like this and hooking up with wonderful women and being on their platforms. I think collaborating is wonderful. It introduces you to new things, new people, and a new way of thinking. I don't believe one should be sheltered. I think people should go out there and explore and just get out of that box, you know, that box that society tries to put us in.
Mhm.
Get out of it. Just find your way, go wild, especially when you're over 40. What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Just go out there and be wild. You know, you've had the kids, you've gotten married, you've gotten the education. Now go be wild, okay? This is our time. And I think that's what collaborating is, just for us to explore and, you know, find ourselves. I keep telling my husband every day, I'm just going to leave you for an Asian man one day because I find him attractive now. He's like, it's the old lady in you. He said, it's the cougar in you. That's what's happening to you. You're a cougar now. So everything is attractive and exotic to you. That's the world we're living in. I'm over 40, okay? And that's my present situation, all right? I need to stop watching Netflix. This Asian guys are so handsome. Anywho, so my contact information is all on my website, okay? It's Dr. as in DRNGOMA, Evelyn, EVELYN, Morgalu, MOGHALU, .card, CARRD.CO. It's in the chat. It's the latest one I just put up. It has everything. It has my text, my business text number. It has my email, and it has my LinkedIn address. You can contact me in any form and shape. You can, you know, send me a LinkedIn request, and I will tap you in. It was nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Oh, I guess I forgot to talk about myself.
Yes, we need to hear from you.
You.
So to me, you know, my past life working in the corporate world, there was not much collaboration, especially among the women, because it was more about competition. And then now I really see the past is like a past life. I don't know how I ever survived because now I have my, like I said, I'm seriously said, you know, mean it. I have my chosen family, collaboration, and I think 1 + 1 is way more than 2, right? And then also
It's 11.
11. And I get to know more about who I am too, because sometimes I don't believe I could do certain things, but then my wonderful friends say, "Oh no, you could do it." Yeah, and my contact is, my website is easy. It's called allhealth.info.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank our viewers for watching today. give us your comments. Let us know what you think about it. We did have one comment during the, whoops, let me get there, during the show, and that was from, get back up here, Ken Walls. He said, really nice. He was enjoying the conversation. So, all right, with that, we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Thanks for joining us today. Bye for now.
Bye,
Bye.
ladies. Go wild. Go